Say hi to YouTube. This will be on YouTube later. We gotta talk about the return of my queen. But what I actually want to start this chapter off with saying is, I think that so Miles, we briefly spoke about the idea and concept that who would be like the strongest ranker in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Ren proved that he's a different type of ranker because he was able to keep up with Bam in some capacity here. I think Bam showed out and showed that demonstratively he's better and he's more powerful, he's stronger, right?
Yes.
I believe that he looks like he's effortlessly like it's effortless, but Ren wasn't immediately like overwhelmed. Like, what do I do? Oh, how could a C rank? He was dodging, he was bobbing, he was weaving. He took damage from some of his anima, and Zam came and interrupted the conflict. And still, like, he tried to attack him and whatnot. He wasn't going to leave. He wasn't care. He was going to fight everybody in there if he had to. And I thought, like, yo, he had a decent showcase from a combat standpoint. So I'm like, you know what? Ren is probably one of the stronger rankers in the tower for holding that literal ranking position. That was good. I like that. I thought he did a good
Yeah,
job
I
there.
agree.
He did just enough that I'm like, I can't just lob him in with the general rankers because I've seen Bam beat rankers pretty effortlessly, and that includes that canine person, but way back when. So this was good.
When he was way
This
weaker.
is what I've been waiting for. This is what we've been missing. So I'm like, thank God. Here we go. Sorry, go ahead.
And I think the choreography was actually pretty clean. The way like Bam
The
was mixing
kicks,
after
yeah,
the axe,
the
and
drop kick with the axe and everything was pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
But this is another This is again the hard thing because like the ranker, despite seeing so much of rankers now, the established levels of what they can and can't do just haven't been told or shown properly. Because I even question, I'm like, is the gap between high ranker and ranker that big even? Honestly, I want to say yes, like it should be, because I feel like I feel like we see that with White, because White effortlessly kills other high rankers and rankers. But then sometimes when like a ranker doesn't insta die for a high ranker, is that because the differences aren't that vast, or is it just that the ranker that's fighting is just severely underrepresented with his rank?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard to say. Oh, I just think that the we've lost our respect and prestige for the title of ranker. At least you and I have. I can't speak for everybody else, but um, Ren showed up. Ren showed up.
He
Ren
did.
took like
I'm impressed. I'm happy.
yeah. I can't. I don't have any complaints about how that played out, and I like that. It didn't. I actually really like that. Bam was like, "Yo, Zam, don't worry about it. I'm gonna pack him up." He said, there's no need to put this fight off until later. I know what you did to my friends. I know how evil you are. I want you in the ground. I said, oh, Bam is moving me. Here we go.
It's,
That's
yeah,
what we
no, I was
need.
happy. Like this is the stuff that we talk about. Like once like you reach like a certain status, whether or not whether or not like we accept it or not isn't the issue. But it's like if you have established yourself within the confines of your story to be strong, it should be represented as such. It's like the same thing we have problems with like Luffy right now. It's like he beating Yonko. A lot of this shit doesn't matter.
Oh.
Bam has fought multiple rankers, beat high rankers. He should be confident and able to hold his own. This is what I found really weird about this, though. This is like kind of a little tangential, but it's the same thing. The fact that Lopabia Ren and Zamzam didn't know who each other were. I thought
No,
that was
that
a
makes
little
sense to
weird.
me. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
I think R.E.D. is
Talk
a
to me.
special force.
Okay.
I don't think that like I think if you get inducted into there or whatever, I don't think it's like a it could be one of two things. I do think that's probably a special force, and maybe Ren wasn't that big a deal, but I know that there's a line that says he joined for the prestige or whatever, and to help his family out and stuff. And for all we know, I don't know how that really shapes out, but I could see it being a very special force where you don't overly announce like Lopobia Ren from the Lopobia family will now be joining the Royal Enforcement. Like it's more like discreet. Like if you need to know, you know. So
This is gonna be my. I'm gonna give you my pushback. Okay.
mm-hmm.
We don't know this, but I would assume you would have to be at least a ranker to join R.E.D.
Yeah.
Would we agree with that? Okay.
Yeah.
So before that, I would assume every ranker is well known, especially at least within their family. Like,
no, I don't assume that anymore. I think this story has
really?
proven that people don't pay attention to nothing or know anybody. People see Urek and don't know Urek. What?
Okay. That's
I completely disagree with that. They're unserious with
okay.
recognizing recognizable faces or people that should be recognizable. That's my opinion. You
Okay.
don't have to agree with that.
Okay. 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 Because my argument would just been if Ren was a ranker and he joined R, he probably would have to have been like somewhat well known, unless like like the suit that he's wearing now he didn't wear before.
Mm.
Because like maybe like
He's
he actually
impersonating
his
Yuga.
real
That could be the reason why. Actually.
yeah.
Mm.
So maybe he is in the impersonation thing is why and like that could be. But I feel like at least the same shouldn't hold true for Zamzam, right? Ren should know Zamzam because he's a high like he's at least an advanced ranker and a manager of seemingly like an important hotel within the family.
Mm. That's a good point. Sorry, chat. I lost where I was at. Let me go to the chat real quick. I feel like Rand's obsession with Bam came out of nowhere. Yes and no. Let me go way up. I missed a lot. Jesus Christ. Okay, peak. Can't stay consistent. If Ren wins, he has to marry Bam. Kobe must be nice. I like Bam's new personality. It's not a new personality, in my opinion. I'll talk about it in a second. Uh, is that my boy? Early season 3 was mid as hell. The red officers official kicks were moving me. Ren thought he was him, bro. He forgot he was in season 3. Agree. I buy it more though. Something to endorse C and a knack when they participate. Petty. I that's something against them. The dark changes. Bam, growing a pair. Can someone? I mean, now you think the Black March has is real? I think it's a replica on some Xeno type stuff. Does Bam still have the Black March? Actually, I actually didn't think about that. I never thought about it. I thought it was the real Black March. Did she take it back?
That's what I no. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I guess she took it back, which I guess makes
Mm,
sense because we haven't seen Bam use it.
yeah. Naya, yeah. I don't think it's. I don't think. I didn't think. I didn't. My mind didn't go there. So that's my fault. Maybe I should have thought about that. I didn't. My mind didn't go to like, is it real? Is it a replica? Is it a Riku replica? I don't know. Thank you. Blah blah blah. I was confused when she pulled out the Black March. We haven't moved past the light battles and unnecessary Korean sound effects. Doing some was wild this chapter. That is cool. Jahan was wild. What? I keep scrolling up by accident. I mean, Ren is weird how we assess with, but not used to be paired against. Bam is like Urek. If you survive against him, you're impressive. If you lose, no one will blame you. Black Mark is deep inside Bam. Though you're right, he did like fuse with it or something. Maybe that's like he took it inside himself, like in like the last station. Maybe she took it out. I don't know. He came, he raw, no doubt. When Power Cool was the ranker last station. When was the last time we saw Yuri? Yeah, last station. We know it's likely some intelligence agency too. Maybe it's silently that he was kept away low key. That's why Urek has Mazzino on his back, and they still don't know who he is. Like, it's unserious. Miles, you have to consider the fact Lupa is pretty big.
I
And
have a pushback for that.
some. All right, honestly, I'm gonna just pretend that I read everything, and we're gonna keep moving forward.
I'm
I'll,
gonna have a
I'll
pushback
keep
to
up.
that real
I'll keep
quick.
up. I'll keep up with that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I definitely agree, like with like the thing of like the families are big, right? But we also have to remember there are a very limited number of rankers within the tower itself. Now, I'm gonna go with this number, even though it's very possible it's retconned, and in some respects it is because we have blue holes. But there's 1,000 high rankers. They account for 1% of the population, and there's 100,000 rankers in general, including advanced and common.
That's like 10% or something, right?
Yeah. So it's
I can't math.
100,000 advanced, 10,000. It's 100,000 rankers, 10,000 advanced, and then 1,000 normal high rankers. So then the question would be you have multiple organizations, free agents, right, that roam around. So what percentage of the Lopabia family could have this amount of rankers, right? Then from that pool, you would have to say which rankers are powerful enough to even be able to join Red, which would only be a more limited pool. And then Zamzam is an advanced ranker, and he controls seemingly some important uh
Well, he has
establishment for the
access to
family.
Traumerei. He got, it's in some way, shape, or form. So he's important enough to get information straight from the family head. So I don't
Yeah,
think Zamzam is a complete nobody, at the very least.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. Like, that's not to say yeah, well they obviously don't know each other. There's that,
Mm.
but I'm just saying I don't like. There's not that many rankers really anyway, especially when you're talking like when you're looking at like specific families. They can only have so many.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk about the Bam. I want to talk about the Bam accession thing coming out of nowhere. I kind of agree in a lot of ways, but I don't think it's related to like his obsession with Bam. I think for some reason he felt that like having this known menace towards like the Jihad Empire or whatnot, being somehow getting married into his family, he's like, oh no, I don't like that. But I actually pointed that out in the very last chapter that we read. How like when like Rachel came back in Europe and he's like, I want him like why like you and Bam have like you were like nice to him. You're like yo he's talented and whatnot. So anywho, that's just it is what it is.
Uh,
Maybe hold on. Let me just Miles. Wait, no, it's like myth and legend. People know the name but won't know the name unless they know them personally. I would say Zamzam is more of a Traumerei bodyguard than a hotel manager. This is door. Yeah, I actually kind of agree. That makes sense to me. Zamzam is definitely on par with branch heads at least, or at least
that's not true.
he's higher up in the family in terms that he gets information that I would argue some other people don't even get. So
Definitely. I mean, didn't whatchamacallit speak to him?
yeah,
I mean,
Traumerei.
he's like right there.
he
Yeah, so
he
he's
he
like
even
right
he
there.
even got him to have the list. Maybe it's just because of the area they're in and what's being held. He was like, "Well, you're the one that makes sense because you know the area." But he even gave him the list. We'll talk about it in a second. Van Kel asked Bam not to use a Black March in the cage arc. I feel like she said don't use any of your external powers like the Thorn, but maybe it was the Black March. I don't remember. I really don't remember. Maybe you guys are right, and maybe Yuri, to not look bad, had to make some weird replica of the Black March that she could kind of use. But I like the idea that she kind of learned how to use it a little bit. But maybe I'm wrong. Saw someone say he could give it to Evan, deliver it. Still headcanon, but it makes some sense. It's possible, I guess. Saw someone say, okay, all right. I'm caught up to the comments now. We are on the next one, East. So when Yuri's introducing everything, so you can chime in
Okay,
on
so
that.
that's four. And
So
my girl,
go
best
ahead.
girl back. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So the fight choreography was good. He's like sends his tongues at him. Bam's dodging them. He's dodging them mostly effortlessly. I actually think SIU does a good job with this, but I hate it. It's off putting. We're just like there's like you could actually see the saliva on his tongue. I'm like ugh, move that. Stop! Let him lick me, you fucking weirdo. There's a panel where he's making like a shielding motion. I'm gonna put it on screen, and the tongues are after him, but he has like his Shinsu, his water Shinsu like in this like Saturn. It looks like like the rings going around Saturn. I like this panel a lot. Then he kind of uses it to like shoot through each individual. Like the tongues are coming after him and kind of like draws blood. I thought that was a good panel. I use that. I think I used this for the thumbnail. I was I was moved by it. Um. Then yeah, Bam blasts his tongue. Then there's a panel of Bam looking like I'm gonna be very honest. He looks retarded. I don't know what happened with the proportions here, but he, his eyes are too far apart and not the same size and looking the wrong way. Punches. Ren jumps up. Bam sends more beam. He dodges the beam. He tries to drop him with the axe kick. And you know how like Ren does that weird like shake when he's excited. Or like whatever. He's like doing it there. He tries to retaliate with a kick. He gets hit with a palm strike, and then he's like, "Damn it! It's not that I can't see any gaps in his movement, but it's not easy to close in. I can feel that he's hiding something more." And he sees like Leviathan, and I'm like, "Look." And he's like, "I don't want to admit it. As a ranker, I feel the danger in my gut. I don't want to admit it. I feel like I'm in danger against a regular. I can never admit that. Don't you think so?" And he like summons like a creature. Then that's how the beam come in, and that's when Zamzam's like, "Hey, I am the hotel manager. You don't see my clients sleeping. You don't see my customers sleeping. Get out." I said, "Oh, he's not playing around. I like that." And this is when I knew Zamzam was that nigga, bro. I'm telling you, he's the one. Put respect on this bug's name. He's out here. You mosquitoes. I'm gonna start calling niggas mosquitoes. Forget turtles. We all mosquitoes, man. But yeah, that was really good. That was good. Let me see what chat's saying. What do you think of the Traumerei talking how this? We'll get there. We'll get there. I saw someone. All right, I swear. Ren's tongue game is crazy. It's a crazy thing to say. Bam out there with the big bang attack. That's what I'm saying. You see that he really charged that key blast like he was Vegeta, fam. It was sick. Um, look at State Farm logo. They're selling Zara insurance. I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to introduce Elaine back into the story. I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not doing it. We're not getting my hopes up again. Don't. What do things say in Endgame? Don't do that. Do what? Don't give me hope. I don't want hope. Don't give me that. Keep that. You like Zam Zam better than Cobalt? Well, Cobalt's a pet, you know, so he's not in the same category. But nah, Cobalt cooler. But Zam Zam's cool, man. I like Zam Zam. He said,
He top 5 local B family members.
yeah.
Actually, wait.
He's like, I don't know who you are, but as a manager and a military hazard can allow the safety of the guest and their sound sleep compromised. To say the nice words, please get out the room. He's like, get out? Not that punk, but me. Yes, he's our client. You're an outsider. He's like, leave. He's like, so in the local beard mothership, not this fuck spy bastard, but I who joined the Zahard army to show devotion and loyalty to my family. You want me to leave? I won't leave like this. The one who needs to leave, damn it, still alive was you. And then he's the blast, which was sick. That I have on the screen right now. But that Bam said, Mr. Ren, you don't need to leave. I am fine to continue. He said, I want you in the dirt. Bam said, I want you 6 feet deep, bro. I said, I like this energy.
No,
And
that energy was.
I think you're right though, Miles. I think maybe beating White and getting the power up from White and maybe Leviathan. We don't know what Leviathan could have told him already, what the memories Traumerei had. I wonder if some of these things are just making him more and more confident. I like this. It's not a new personality. It's not. He didn't switch up out of nowhere. He's starting to just. I guess you know what. I'm gonna use the line from The Matrix. He's starting to believe.
Oh God! Thank God.
Yes.
I believe now.
We don't need any more tickle butt. Get to the damn point. So it's lit. By the way, am I watching The Last of Us? Fuck no. That shit's ass. I know it's ass. I played the game. There's no reason for me to watch it. I played the game back in 2014, I think is when I played it, and I remember it well. So there's no reason for me to watch the show.
Yeah,
Proportions are wild. There's a panel of Faryun sitting in the arm of the chair, from gay frogs to professional mosquitoes. The fights are being set up have so much potential. Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, East. Sorry.
No, I was saying that's back when he was playing games.
I know. I mean, I played some games this year. Bam may have added another line in his soul after viewing those Traumerei's memory. Okay. So the conversation they had was interesting. So he said he came to the mothership, you got the message, and so basically he realized that he so Ren came on his own and didn't follow any orders. By the way, we know this already based on what was said to him. And I think he felt slighted. He's like, I'm effing angry because he's like, bro, Slayer candidate coming out of that station is supposed to join my family. And Zam Zam discerns that the information has already been leaked. Went to Ha Jinsung, and then we're gonna talk about the conversation that they had. But what I liked about it was that Traumerei was immediately able to discern who did it. Like he's not an idiot. Like I'm not saying that I thought he was stupid, but I had no reason to believe that he was like I don't say an intellect, but just like somebody who like can think through things. Like he immediately like, well, only Hodgson could have done that, so call him here. And they seem to have history, right? Go ahead.
Well, like we talked about that yesterday, and I was like, he knows those niggas. He's been around. Like he was the favorite grandson. Like they literally say, like how you're in bros to bring this nigga around. So he knows some of these niggas, or he has met them in some capacity. Not everybody, but he's met some of these niggas before. And then, like, that's why I found the conversation very, very highly interesting too. And I think the fact that he was able to do it makes him feel competent and not a sense of just power. It's like you over 10,000 years old, 50,000 years old. Your ass should not be stupid. You should be able to discern. It's like 4 people. One just came out. One of them just came out of cryo chamber sleep since the Genesis era. The other one is an unknown nigga, and it's like the nigga Ha Jinsung. So it's like, you know what? It's probably him. Come on now. Like, I just liked it. It was like very quick and like to the point. And then we had to like stall out for time. Oh, what's gonna happen is like, all right, bring him here. Next point. All right, how what I say, and then we out. I fuck with it. He moving. He cooking, bro. Like, Thank God we're not pussyfooting around.
Like Traumerei has been like to me, like now that I know that he's kind of had a plan and he's really testing Bam. And to me, this is my guess, right? Actually, can I make sure that this is here before I say something crazy?
I don't think it is.
Basically, I think he's cooking up a scheme. The reason that he even allowed this to happen is because he's already implemented certain things and checks and balances that will not allow Bam to not be in his clutches essentially. But Hudson goes, I wrote it. I sent it anonymously to other places too. And he's like, and the Traumer's like, I thought I'd prepare it myself. And he's like, the 1 month preparation isn't that meaningless in the first place. Within that time, the war will start, and I'm sure you will find a way to use Viola in the war. So that's why I sent the message, basically saying that you didn't upend your end of the bargain, and so that's why I did what I had to do. But even if you're mad at me, I don't really care. Just don't hurt Viola. And then he says, um, Ha Jinsung, I've always meant to say this to you. You sure are fearless. I'll kill. If I kill you here, it'll be hard to control the Slayer candidate, so I'll spare you. However, deliver the hotline of factions and people you've contacted the Zamzam, then I won't ask you any more questions concerning this event. He's like, all right, this event. He's like, leave. He's like, oh, I got off easy. That was good. That was a good back and forth. See, that moved me more than whatever the hell he did before. Like, oh well, you can't make him marry somebody without, like, but bro,
Yeah, hundred
if I was
percent.
Traumerei, I'd have been like, flick, would have flicked him, literally, like, flick, move from me. Don't tell me what to do, bro.
So Miles, you gonna speak before I speak? I want to let you.
Yeah.
Uh,
What about that conversation strikes you as vital and important, or like, do you want to talk about the fact that they have histories? Basically, Hajin Sung has possibly been constantly always defying the family heads straight up. Is that what the inclination is here?
I mean, I think so. I mean, they probably all look at him as like that, like unruly. I mean, it's still so hard to gauge like what their relationship was during the climb, after they finished the climb, and now what it is now. Because Hajun Sung's so old, he could have been like that, like like if they saw each other still as brothers and sisters at that time, it's just like that really unruly like grandnephew type thing. And then like when he got violent enough that he attacked him, he's like, okay, yeah, this guy's just wilding out right now.
Yeah.
So like, I think he does have like, he's definitely probably talked to like quite a few of the family heads. He's probably met them and stuff. So like, I don't know if I would say the history between them though is deep.
Well, look at this,
You
right?
know,
He said that Punk is still the same. The competition is just a formality. Just like old times, he still thinks he can make a difference in the fate that we have decided.
mm-hmm.
This kid is just whining against the inevitable, just like he used to, even though he knows nothing will change. I think there's actual legitimate history there. I'm not saying that like,
Like,
oh, Traumerei and
I
him used to, but like,
this will be my pushback, right? I think you could say that without knowing somebody, as long as you're aware of what happened. And when I first read that, the thing that came to my mind is when Ha Jin Sung lost his lover and killed like the Branch family, or not a branch. I can't remember what they said. If it was a Branch family, the Ha family, or just
entire
like a
faction of us.
huge,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. We're like that seems to me like that context resembles that, where he's like, Ha Jin Sung probably thought he could defy his fate by probably marrying someone that he shouldn't. He went, got angry, killed this thing, and now look at him. His fate's still like, you didn't do anything. You haven't succeeded.
Mhm.
You didn't change your fate. You're still the same like kid from back then who thought he could like do whatever he wanted just because he was strong.
so my pushback to
That's,
that, in
that's
the
not to
same,
say you guys aren't wrong. I'm just saying like I could see both sides.
well, my counter to that is also in the same time. Like, I don't think he knew everybody on like he knew. It's a fact that like unless Studio retcons it or something, it was a fact that he knew someone or he met them around. So like he was just the grandson, and you know the Ha family. She seems to favor some certain ones. Like more people I'm pretty sure have met. Like they don't seem to be doing them like how White and Coonan doing. Like all right, fight to the death. You can even measure up to me type beat. Like they seem to have. She seems to have more agency. He's a favorite child of Ha Urine, and he's already met some of them. And I'm pretty sure the repertoire with some of them is more stronger than others. So the way I was looking at it was like, I'm not gonna say like he was spending time with them all the time as a kid, but I'm pretty sure they have met, and it's for their. I'm pretty sure like the way it's coming off is you could tell the personality he had throughout his whole life, even as a kid. Like you're like somebody like let's say Yuri, you see Yuri like Yuri now, he had the same personality as when she was a kid. She was always like hot headed, thick headed, shit like that. So even now, like you look back at them again, it would be like, oh, you always been like this type of nigga. That's how I took it because it's like he met them a couple times before. I'm pretty sure they had a conversation, and they were like, "All right, you've always been, you still the same nigga you was before." The conversation very much floored me. Was very interesting. It's just interesting to see the family has move and interact with other people, and because they all have different, variations of how they think about other people that's not on their level.
Yeah, I think there's like I think what Miles said makes sense, but I think it's deeper.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
it's
he,
a little deeper to
I
me.
think he's had some interaction with them because I find it's I don't know I find that if he's thinking that in his own head, that is probably there's probably a lot of truth to it, and maybe he tried to mess with something they did. They did. What did you ask me here? Any predictions for the next matchup for Ren? Bam, uninterrupted probably. Or maybe I could see him. Maybe if he finds Endorsi or something, and he could overpower her, try to use her as a hostage to get Bam to fight him. I could see that being a thing. I actually felt like Traumerei would have smoked Jinsung if Bam was not around. But that's the reason why he didn't do it because he think it'll be hard to contain him. I'm glad TOG's coming back, so am I. What do you think of Traumerei talking about fate? I thought fate was the hardest thing. Well, I didn't take it as like him being like I could see fate and I could change it, blah blah yada yada. They're all of these characters because of I guess their destiny. They have a air of destiny and fate around them. But you have to remember that he said the fate, the will, and the fate that we decided. So he basically talked about the will of like people who are on his level, like a family head, like an erect, like a jihad or whatever. So I took it more as like we have already decided that Bam will get married to somebody here. If you're not a princess, everyone in this competition, their fate is death. You can't change that, no matter what. They're going to die in order for me to make this marriage legitimate. That's how I took it personally.
Same here because it's like they are the gods of this thing.
Exactly.
But as far as we know, other than administrators who don't really do nothing, what they say there's nobody anything can do about it. Like a trauma says, I'm doing this. Nobody can stop him except 10 other people in the tower. Or even like make them flinch other than like 10 other people in the tower. Besides the administrators, which they got a relationship with all them. So it's like what we will decide to happen decides to happen. And you can't step outside of that. Especially if you're not in a regular. But like besides that, like what we decide is what we decide. There's no change in that because for how many years? Millions,
If you have
damn
the power
millions
to
of
do
years?
that, yeah.
Yeah, like have nobody ever been able to defy them.
I think Traumerei means on killing everyone who's not a princess. You said you said that. Um, then Zamzam said, I have to prepare the sea snake, right? So at this point, what I was thinking was essentially like, okay, so now using everything in hindsight and retrospect, I'm like, okay, you had a plan. You want to test him, use him in the army use him to marry him to your family and use it against Gustang or whatever the case is. And I'm like, why would he agree to this unless he had some type of checks and balances or some type of he knew something he can do. And I think he's going to summon a character or a phenomenon or a creature that animas or local beings can control that will be too much for most people there to deal with. And that's loyal to him or at least will do his bidding. And that's why he's so confident that Bam will end up his because everyone's gonna die. But Zamzam does something interesting here. He says, most of them won't be a problem except this one. And it says Yuri Jahad. And then where do we go? Middle of the tower. Random area. This is a warning. And who do I see stands up on that ship? I thought she was in a straitjacket originally. And just kind of be set there in prison. I thought she was like locked up, but what I'm guessing really happened was she got punished, had to lay low, and essentially just do the bidding of the family. Like, go do this, take out this faction. We need this land. Go get this. Talk to this person. So right now she just has to do whatever the family wants, and she's basically playing ball right now. So she's not doing her general Yuriisms and just going on a fleeting emotion, and it was nice. It was just super nice to see her, man. I really liked it.
My best girl back. I'm so happy.
Mhm.
Uh, two things.
White robe
One.
probation. The fit's fire.
Uh,
The thighs are
do you
fire. The kicks are fire. Sorry, hair is fire. Okay, go.
do you think that he classified Yuri as a problem because she would be the strongest competitor so far out of all the names that are being thrown in the hat? or because if they mess with her,
How you're in.
Urine would just come in and just be like, all right, I'm about to
I
work y'all.
I think it's I think two things could be true at once. There's probably legitimacy to both being true, but I think it's the high urine thing.
Okay.
I actually want I really want to believe that it would also piss off Ha Urine if she found out that Traumerei did that to even Ha Jinsung. But I want to believe he's more important than he really is. And at the end of the day, he did do something that really hurt the family. And FUG wasn't even impressed when he got kidnapped. So I guess at this point, he just don't have that clout like that no
So,
more. That cachet. He can't.
so let me say,
His kidnapping or him doing something or his death doesn't. I guess galvanize the troops in that sense. Only Karaka and Bam care. Go ahead.
yeah. So let me say this. I definitely believe two things are both true at once. I'll stand on that for the simple fact that once again, in the tower, we see how the family has operate in different capacities. And like I said again, the familial bonds the high urine has amongst them, she already said she favors Yuri, and Yuri even met them. How many other people have actually met the family? Has or even seen their fathers for more than a split second? Yuri got trained specifically and specially, and she even looked like a spitting image of high urine. And I even think they even mentioned that when she got captured. Like, okay, it might be a little issues with like, her and that facade because that's like I said, that's like a favorite great grandson, like spit an image of her. And I'm saying like, and if she do step out and cause trouble, she's the strongest. Yes, Traumerei could kill her or some other nigga could kill her, but at the same time, she's already caused the trouble, and you killing her causes high urine to step up. So her
Mm.
like the two things are true at once. I truly believe because I don't think that Ginseng might not be that important, but I promise you, like Yuri being a running for a princess, being a prize for the family, even fucking wasn't that Chiang Hong thing's whole thing being jealous of fucking Yuri?
A little bit.
Yeah, so like,
But also, Yuri said she couldn't handle the pressure of having to be a princess of Jihad, anyways.
mm,
You aren't built for this. Everybody wants to be the star player, but nobody wants star player responsibility when the team's not winning. You know,
yeah, true
she
that.
was looking clean, right with the J's, Yuri with the Yeezys. So I assume Yuri's punishment is to carry out Jihad's. Maybe it's not her family. Maybe it's Jihad's armies that prove her loyalty. That makes sense. Actually, it makes more sense. Traumerei never planned on Bam marrying a princess or another family. It makes more sense that Traumerei accepted their proposal. I still think it's like for me, it's unnecessary gamble. It's just like it's not part of my plan. I don't have to the Hodgin song. Shut the hell up. But I agree with you that for whatever reason, he always had something in place that made him confident that Bam would always be his, regardless of what would happen. So you know, you're looking fire, absolutely. I think Jin Sung has some relevance because he's going to be sealed and not killed. But maybe that was the trap to catch Bam. I mean, depends on who you think really orchestrated that. Do you think it's like a Traumerei Jahad thing, or do you think it's Macheni? It's hard to say at this point, but I think Macheni. I don't know. I still think that Hodgson Sung probably was better off getting packed, but we'll see what SLU does with him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can do something interesting with him. I honestly feel like we could actually before I say that anything else in this chapter I wanted to mention. Let me see because this was good though. This was good. Like you guys know what Yuri's like one of my favorite characters like to follow. I think she's super fun. I really like her. So it's just nice to see her back in the story, back in the forefront. Maybe I think she's gonna
I
come.
see her go all out for the one time.
Yeah, it'll be nice. So
She really hasn't been pushed
only
like
only
ever
time
yet.
we only time we remotely seen it was when one of the best fights in the series, her versus Karaka, and they didn't even fully like go all out. She had to hold back just a tad bit because the kids were still there.
yeah,
She was just trying to kind of cover for those niggas.
she just wanted them to get on the train without Karaka noticing they were there. So, but that was a really good battle. Do you do you guys foresee her just not listening to what she's supposed to be doing and being like, "Fuck it, I gotta go get Bam. I gotta go find him."
Oh, she's pulling up. She's pulling up.
Okay.
She's pulling
Yeah.
up for sure.
I still
Well,
wonder about.
mhm.
Oh, you want to
Go ahead.
No, you go.
All I was gonna do is read the comment that said, "Or you is on probation," so you're good.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It still makes me wonder. Like, there's still other people we have to meet up with, like Leorio, or whatever they supposed to do. They kind of left again, and like Walcott's son. I'm just curious when those people kind of make a move again because it's like, all right, powers are shifting to be
Mm.
again. Like once this war really like pop off, it's like all right, who's shifting with who? Are people gonna make like some slight underhanded moves, or they just gonna wait for the power dime to like somebody get taken out? Which because Fug would know that like they had the capabilities of that, but Bam, but they don't know what Traumerei is really plotting and stuff like that. Are they just gonna let them niggas go at each other's head? Because this is gonna shake everybody. Because there's like them fighting affects everybody, whether other family has get involved or not. Everybody feels the what's that? The aftershock of it, or I should say.
Yeah, the aftermath of what's going on. It's
Mm.
gonna reverberate through the tower no matter what. So
Yeah, because I mean, Gus Poby, that was literally like the scientific running. Like they make the revolutions in the tower, and all the shit reason for the workshop and all that. So like,
I was gonna say this. Well, first of all, let me ask you guys what do you rank the chapter? It's from like an 8 out of 10 for me. It was good, 8.5 maybe. It was a good chapter. Well, see, I like Yuri a lot, so this Yuri's one of Yuri's one of those characters. Anytime she's on screen, I just enjoy her. I think the my favorite panel is the Bam key blast. As for the dialogue, I like when Traumerei was talking in his head about Ha Jinsung constantly kind of being in their way type of thing. So that's one of my favorite dialogue. So it's super dope. I all right. I'll talk about the hope that you guys brought up earlier. Even though I'm it's not moving me. I'm not putting any stock into this, but I'll mention it to mention it. Still think there's a really dope opportunity for maybe Elaine to run into the Lopobia man that she was supposed to get married to, and why she failed to be a princess and whatnot. I think that would work. That'd be interesting, but
What's with Zam Zam?
I don't I don't think that um SIU really has anything to do with he cares about her in that sense. I think we have put a lot of importance on her, but I don't think he cares like that. So shout out to the Patreon gang. Because of y'all, I don't gotta consume ice soup every day. Y'all ever ate ice soup? Y'all never had no ice soup. Anyways, shout out to the CVL. That's the certified BAM lovers. Shout out and salute to the Priest of Fire. That's the real CBL certified brilliant lovers. But the biggest and largest thanks to the fifth Zen gods, my tier 3 pledgers. That's Big Abdel, Tris, Fitz, Irene Sharda, Jacob Holland, Johnny Rogers, Lazy Dragon, Lucky Roo, Revenant, Scobe, Silo, Simi. He got a Twitch now. Go follow him on Twitch. Sunny Katha Polly and Zodiac Nemiko. You guys, your support is greatly appreciated because I'm tired of eating ice soup, man. I'm tired of it.